On this Stamp Club project, I'm going to show you how to make this easy and unique sun right behind the sailboat. We're going to use sunrise sailing. Hello, I'm Julie, and this is Stamp with Julie Baum. This is another video tutorial where I am showing you the projects that we made at Stamp Club in July of 2025. These videos are created to assist my Stamp Club at Home customers who watch the video. They have a packet that gets sent to their home, and then they create the projects on their own time at their own pace. And this is my Stamp Club at Home process. So if you are not watching as part of Stamp Club at Home, welcome to you as well. And I hope that this tutorial will be fun for you to watch and will be a card that you feel like making. So we are doing a sailboat card, and there is a variety of colors that are in the various packets. So your colors might not be the same as mine, but all of your pieces will still be in there. So you're going to find your card base first, and it is 4¼ inches by 11 inches. And I'm going to score it at 5½ and fold. So whatever color you have, grab that card base, score it down the middle at 5½, and we're going to fold that and reinforce it with our bone folder. The next thing we're going to do is take our basic beige piece of cardstock, and below this video in the description box I will put some information for you, including where to find the measurements and the products and a shopping list and so forth. So if something doesn't get said during the tutorial, you can find it there. All right, so everybody has a basic beige piece of cardstock. It's going to go on to the front of the card like so. For the next step, you might want to grab some washi tape or some Post-it tape. I will be using my low-tack artist tape for this next step. It's just to hold my pieces in place until I'm ready to glue them on, and I have found this to be a really helpful step, even though it takes a little extra moment. All right, so everybody has 3 strips of designer series paper. This is the Timeless Plaid, and again, the color of your plaid will coordinate with the color of your card base. And so these pieces are going to go right here on this basic beige. So I'm going to dry fit them first, just getting an idea of placement and spacing. And it's really helpful because you can move it around till you get it just right. And then let me grab my tape. It's just outside of arm's reach. All right. This tape that I've been using for a while now is really economical. For me, I feel like it saves me a lot of money, and I'm not wasting Post-it notes, and even the Post-it tape is kind of expensive. So I have gotten down to using this. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape 2 of my strips in place just to give it a little temporary hold because I like the placement right now. And then I'll go ahead and glue this one down. I did that little tape it down technique in a video just a couple weeks ago, and I did have some people asking about the artist tape. There's an Amazon link for that below the video as well. I have a whole list of Amazon links, things that I use in my crafting that are not sold by Stampin' Up, but I use them regularly. They're favorite items. So I do have links for those. And below any video, you can always find those. Oh, this one actually, I didn't press my tape down. It kind of moved. Let's see, make sure you're holding on there. Okay, that's fine. We're in good shape. I needed to press that low-tack tape down with a little bit more pressure. Otherwise, it was starting to wiggle around. Okay, 2 out of the 3 DSP strips are now in place, and we can put the last one. All right, and like I said, it's one extra step doing that, but I like how it holds it and kind of keeps everything where it needs to be until you glue it down. Timeless Plaid, to date for 2025, has been the most popular packet of designer series paper. It might have been second. It and the storybook one, which is so funny because the storybook one did not appeal to me at all. I didn't buy it. I haven't wished to have it, but this Timeless Plaid I really like. Okay, moving on. You have in your packet a white piece of cardstock, and that is going to go on the inside of the card. We are going to decorate it. So you have some scraps to die cut your clouds. We're die cutting 2 clouds from this bundle. And so I was trying to see if I pre-did my clouds. If I pre-cut them, it doesn't look like I did. All right, so I'm going to be taking some little scraps here and die cutting my clouds. So give me a moment. All right, here's our clouds. There are 2 sizes that are part of this bundle. And so there's the larger one and this smaller little puffy cloud. So after you've die cut your clouds, you can go ahead and attach them to the inside, or to the white piece. This is going to be the inside panel on the card. And look at, I just am loving how the white on white looks. I also did that on a previous project and wasn't sure that the white would look good just against the white, and it does. The little cloud shape just does the trick. All right, so cloud 1 and cloud 2 are now in place. And then the other thing we're going to do is add some birds. So I'm going to get my bird stamp and Secret Sea ink pad. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp a couple of birds. Aren't they cute? I just love this bird stamp. It's really nice. We actually are probably going to use that bird stamp again. Don't put it too far away. All right, so no writing, no stamping, and I did not put designer series paper on my inside panel, just those clouds and birds. All right, if this is the first video that you're watching of the 3, because there are 3 July Stamp Club projects, you'll want to make sure that you go find the July card project for that's called a cocktail card, and you'll also want to look for the Floral with Arches card. So there are 3 projects, and I made 3 separate videos this time. So make sure you look for those, and I will try to remember to link those together also. So while you're watching, you'll be able to jump right over to those. Okay, you have a large white scrap. This is for stamping your sailboat on. Now, if your card base is Lost Lagoon like mine, then you're going to stamp your sailboat in Secret Sea and Lost Lagoon, those 2 colors. If your card base was Cajun Craze, which was one of the variations, then your sailboat is in Cajun Craze and Basic Beige. So it just depended on what color of the DSP strips you ended up with in your packet, and then the cardstock and ink colors to coordinate. All right, so we need a boat, and we have our boat, and we need to put this the fill in for the hull of the boat. And there's two ways that you could do this. You could either use Secret C and stamp it off so you have a lighter version, or I decided to just use Misty Moonlight on mine. And this does need to be carefully lined up. So I'll see how I do without getting my head in the way of your view right here. All right, there we go. Then we're going to put some color on the sails, which is what I think just completely makes this sailboat pop. So Lost Lagoon ink pad and this little detail stamp fits right into the sails and looks adorable. All right, 1, 2, 3, there's our sailboat. I think we're going to use Lost Lagoon one more time before we wrap this up. This does need to get die cut, and I did not do a die cut boat ahead of time, so let's cut that out. And perhaps if you're following along, you took a moment to cut your sailboat out at the same time. All right, there we go. We've got our boat. Okay, something fun that we're going to do, and I did watch this little trick from another demonstrator that was creating her son for her sailboat card. And we're going to do that same little trick. So I'm starting with a circle. This was Stylish Shapes, and I think that it is the second size down from the largest. I think it could be the third. It measures, if that helps you, but I'll try to look it up and put it in the written description. Just wider than 2.5, so it's just a little bigger than a 2.5-inch circle. We're going to take this. We need a piece of scratch paper, so go ahead and grab just some copy paper, or maybe you have your grid paper. Ever since getting my glass mat, I don't reach for my grid paper as much as I did before, although I still use it when I'm teaching classes. Okay, so we've got our circle. We're going to need 2 colors of ink pad. That is Daffodil Delight and Calypso Coral. We also need 2 blending brushes. And so I have my 2 here. It looks like, this one looks pretty clean. I think this was my yellow one. And this one, because I didn't work really hard at cleaning them in between because I knew I would be making this card for you. All right, so beginning with yellow, you're going to pick up some ink on your blender brush and start a little on the scratch paper and then start blending onto the circle. And we're just going to get a nice soft yellow onto our circle all over it. I'm going to turn it and just keep going. Now, if you are crafting with me at home and you don't have blender brushes, you can get a similar look by using your Stampin' Daubers or a sponge. But we're just creating this yellow sun out of our circle. All right, once you've got that about the depth of yellow that you want it, then we're just going to come in with a teeny bit of Calypso Coral to give us that idea of sunset. So this is not going to go all over the whole circle. I'm just going to add some kind of to like half or a third of it. You can decide when enough is enough. Look at that, is just such a lovely and soft look. Okay, that is done. We can put it onto our card. And you can decide, as far as placement goes, if you want more of the yellow showing or more of the orange. So I'm going to go ahead and I have one card that is complete that I'll show you. My plaid is different on the other card. And I did my sun like over here, like that. So it might be fun, since everybody's creativity is a little different, to flip this one and let's just do it a little different. So I'm going to put this over here instead and glue that down. I'm kind of having my yellow here and the orange as it's falling towards the bottom of the card. Okay, then with our boat, let's stick some Stampin' Dimensionals on there. I'm going to use a combination of the full-size ones and the minis. There we have it. Okay, we're going to position the sailboat so that there is still a little bit of space at the bottom below the boat, which is where we're going to add our sentiment. And at this point, you can choose what word stamp you're going to use. I'm using Best Wishes from Sunrise Sailing. Let me show you the stamp set. This is the bundle. Stamps and coordinating dies. So I'm going to use Best Wishes on mine, and we need to decide if I'm using Lost Lagoon or Secret Sea. And Stamp Club at home, you can go ahead and figure out which sentiment you would like to use. All right, same thing in positioning your boat. You can come up higher like this, depending on the size of your sentiment that's going to fit down here, or you can come down a little lower if your sentiment is narrow. So I'm just gonna go with this. I feel like my plaid lines are helping me to see if the bottom of my boat is straight. There we go. Okay, boat is in place. I just have a little scrap here. It's a 1/2 inch scrap. Should have been one of these in your packet. And if you are stamping a sentiment that is a little bit bigger, just reach in your scraps for a larger piece, if that's what you need to accommodate your words, okay? All right, I've got Best Wishes here, and I have done this card and done the words in Lost Lagoon, so let's change it up and use Secret Sea. For the other color combination, I would recommend either Calypso Coral or Cajun Craze for your words. Of course, if you're in a pinch and you don't know what else to do, a sentiment in black ink is always acceptable. I feel like it just always works. You know, when you remember when you used to buy greeting cards before you became a card maker, all the writing, all the sentiments were always black. All right, there we go. We've got Best Wishes. I love that font. Love how that looks. And let's just do something that's a little bit freestyle here and do a little angle cut, and then to the same direction, like so. This could be added to the card with some small dimensionals, some minis, or just flat. I think I'll go ahead and do this one flat. Okay, we're still going to do two more things. We're going to do a little bit of stamping. We're going to add some birds, and we're going to add our embellishments. So Stamp Club at Home, if you do not have this bundle yet and you are having to substitute things that you have, you might not end up with birds unless you have a bird stamp. But I hope you do, or I hope that it's on your list to add to your order, because the stamps in this are, not only are they really cute and they fit the sailing theme, but a lot of these can be used for other things. Even the bird can be used for anything that you need, like a little nature flair too. Okay, couple of birds right here in the sunshine. Oh, I love it. Okay, for your embellishments, some are included in your packet, and I believe, I'm not sure, there could have been a variety. There are either the Tinsel Gems 3-pack, because those blue gems look really good, or these Sunny Day Iridescent Dots. I'm quite sure I put some of those in your packets. So I will do this one with the Tinsel Gems. And in this instance, I'm going to go ahead and put 2 on my plaid area. Three is usually our magic number. I do like 5, but you know, sometimes when we're embellishment hoarders and we don't want to like use them up, we decide that 3 is plenty, even though sometimes we really want to put 5 on there. So 3 were included in your packet. If you would like to add more, I think this card could completely handle 5 little gems. I would add probably another one here and a third one in that corner, but that part is up to you. Okay, those are Tinsel Gems 3-pack, and I pulled the blue color out of that. And the front of our card is finished. The inside of our card is finished, and there you have our Stamp Club July 2025 project, the Sailboat card. Thanks for watching.